Today, we will be participating in the third round of the Australian PCARS 2 Supercars Championship. This is Triple Crown Racing. Let's get into it. So this is the third round of the Australian PCARS 2 Supercars Championship. Now, this round will be taking place at Sportsland Sugo. It's a track in Japan, and you may know it from Super GT's racing on it. Now, looking back at our last couple of rounds, as I nearly flip over there, so that's quite interesting. Good track tour so far. If we look back at our last couple of rounds, you will notice that it has gone absolutely disastrously for me this entire time. So in Brands Hatch we made a couple of mistakes, and we basically had to do a recovery drive, driving back to 10th place, and in Algarve we were having a really good race, really good fighting in the midfield before, well, we binned it. So after the first 2 of 6 rounds, we have amassed an incredible 1 point. You heard me, ladies and gentlemen, 1 point. So we will be looking to get some more points for this round at Sugo. And coming to the end of the lap, you may notice in a second that it isn't the most competitive of times. So we're on the start-finish straight now, and we crossed the line with a time of 1 minute 23.5. Now on the next lap we set a time of 1 minute 23.1, which is a little better but nothing spectacular. Now at the end of practice we hadn't really said anything well, but our teammate Shads sent us his setup, and he said, you know what, why don't you have a go at it and see what sort of time you can set. So I went out on track and I set a 1 minute 18.1, which put me third in practice at the time, which put me third in practice at the end of the session, just behind our teammate Shads, with Sado topping the session. It was looking good for me at this point, and I was very interested to see what I could set in qualifying. Would I be able to have a time in the top 5? Well, this is the end of my fastest lap in qualifying, and we have crossed the line with a time of 1 minute 18.1, which put us 4th on the grid. Now, I didn't manage to set anything better with the time I had, and I wish I had been able to, because at the end of the session, we were 4th place, and I felt we could have gone faster. Unscrewed Squid is the championship leader who topped the timing sheets at the end of the session, followed by Sado, Fish Racing, and me. Shads didn't actually manage to set another time because he got disconnected at the end of the session. So this is it, the moment you have all been waiting for. It's a top 5 start for the first time this season. Now let's see what we can do in the race. The lights are coming on now, and we go green at Sportsland Sugo. We've got the jump, we've had an amazing start, we've gone past Fish Racing, and we're challenging Sado for 2nd place and Unscrewed Squid for 1st. We've locked up going into turn 1. Sado rubs up alongside us, and we've dropped back down to 4th, and Sado's gone very slowly through the 2nd turn. We've actually hit him, but luckily no one has spun around, and we've gotten away very well. Now let's see if we can challenge Sado and the top 3 on the opening lap. We are under pressure for Fish Racing though, so it will be important not to make a mistake. Through the S's now, they've sort of got the jump on us. I've been very nervous through that sort of corner through the S's, because it's very easy to make a mistake. But all in all, we have gotten a very good start to the race. Now let's see if we can challenge the top 3. Now this is on to lap 2 now. We're coming up to the S's once again. We have gained a little bit of time on Sado into that corner. Now he's run a little bit wide. Let's see if we can make up some time on him. Now as again, they've jumped up a little bit ahead of us going into these next couple of corners. But oh no, we've lost the rear end! And
oh dear, that's happened again.
Yeah, we did that, and we're down to 6th place, but we are still in with a chance in the race. We do have a little bit of damage, but I don't think it will be affecting the performance. Steering is a little bit bent, but if we fast forward a little bit later in the lap, we are going around the final corner now, but I've gone a little bit too deep. I've tried to avoid the bollards, and I've sort of ended up in the grass. Well, I've sort of dropped the ball there, haven't I? But anyway, we are still in the race. We don't have too much damage, and we're on to lap 5 now, and we are catching up to the back of the pack there, but that is good. And there's somebody off to the side there, and it's Sado. Sado is off to the side there. Somebody who was challenging for the race lead at the start of the race is off to the side of the road. He probably has a lot of damage now, though. We are up now into 8th place in this race. I think a few people have had problems there, but then once again we have gone round, and that's not really helping our case. This is lap 8 now, and it's not going particularly well for us. We've got a bit more damage, and here you go on the exact same lap. We've done it again. It isn't going particularly well for us, but we could still be in the race fight. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to come into the pits, make a pit stop, fix the damage, get some new tyres, refocus, and get out on track and focus on the recovery drive. Now, once again, we are out on track. This is now lap 14. It's getting a little bit darker now, and as you can see, someone's in the pit lane, so we are starting to make a little bit of a recovery. This is lap 28 now, and there's only 2 laps to go. But look at my speedometer. I am beginning to run out of fuel, and I didn't think this was going to happen because I was so sure I had the car correctly fueled. But fuel could be a factor now, and I'm not sure if I've done this yet, but I will be going into super save mode. I will be going on to lean mix, and then I will be lifting and coasting, and then I'll be going into lower gears. I think it's around this point of the lap that I realized that I'm running out of fuel. And I didn't think fuel was going to be a factor, but apparently it is, and that's not good. And I know if I pit now, I'm not going to get any sort of results, so I've decided to risk it for the chocolate biscuit and stay out. And as you can see there, I'm just putting it into lean mix and seeing if I can make it to the end. Now, I am being told to pit in at this point because my engineers are saying I won't make it on fuel. And there's some people pulled off to the side of the road. They aren't moving, and I think I've realized what's going on. I hit the bollards, but I realized that my fate is sealed. I'll see if I can. I'm just seeing if it will, I don't know, sort of reset itself. I'm into the pits now, but I know what my fate is. I know what's coming. So yes, it happened. We got disconnected and we have rejoined back just as Unscrewed Squid has crossed the line to win, followed by Shads, then followed by, I believe that's Fish Racing, then followed by Fish Racing, that is Dark Racing, and that is once again another win for Unscrewed Squid. He retained his lead of the championship. Shads has finished second. That's another podium of his for the year. And there's Sado. He's coming home in 9th. And he had a difficult race, just as I did, as we're seeing everyone drive in formation. I wish I could have been with them. I wish I could have finished on the podium. And I wasn't with them. My internet didn't hold out. And I also had a very poor race. But congratulations to Unscrewed Squid. And that was a good job for Shads getting another podium for the JK Gloves racing team. And in a moment, we will see the results of the race. There they are there. Unscrewed Squid has won, followed by Shads, Fish Racing, Dark Racing, and then the rest of the field. So here are the championship standings. Unscrewed Squid currently tops the table on 43 points, followed by Shads on 31 points, and Sado on 30 points. Now, at this point, I only actually had 1 point in the championship, and my sort of hopes weren't exactly helped by the fact that I missed round 4, and now it is mathematically impossible for me to win this championship. So what I'm going to try to do for the remaining 2 rounds of the league is I'm just going to try do as well as possible. Hopefully pick up a podium and hopefully, maybe a glimmer of hope, pick up a win. So the next round is Snetterton. Hopefully I get a good result. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.